magic age of might. A band of heroes step up to the fight, playing with powers they don't understand. Will they fuck it all up or will they save the land? Treachery, vanity, loitering and worse. They are their own worst enemies. These fuckers don't need no cause. Authors and dragons. Authors and dragons.
Their powers combined, a group of fantasy authors take on a sadistic games master. Will they survive? Or will they die like bitches?
Authors and dragons. Authors and dragons.
Hi everybody, I'm John Hartness, and I'll be playing the role of Fandingo the Fantastical, fireball-flinging bard. In real life, I write the Quincy Harker Demon Hunter series, the Bubba the Monster Hunter series, and the Black Knight Chronicles, which will have a release date for Book 7 by the next time we record this, but it will be coming in the spring.
Hi, I'm Joseph Barassi. I play the role of Bjorg Bjornsson, enthusiastic positive masculinity barbarian. I was an author on the Mongoliad project, and I am the imaginary author of the non-existent novel Butts, Bubbles, and Babies, the story and legend of gigantic tubular worms. Buy my shit. My book Skyfarer and Dragon Road Rat from Angry Robot Books.
Hi, my name is Rick Gualtieri, and I play the fanatical paladin Silas Kane, loyal servant of a god who's too cool to be named. In real life, I write several things, but by the time you're listening to this, you should be able to pre-order my latest. Yes, indeed, Shingles takes a big steaming dump on the classics in this timeless tale of a love triangle between a girl, a murderous giant ape, and a man who spends way too much time jacking off horses. Be sure to check out Sense and Sensibility and Sasquatch.
Hello, friends. My name is Robert Bevan. I'm the first to have taken a shingles dump, and I am also the author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories, starting with the first book, Critical Failures. I should probably also mention that I play the role of Klaus Richter, the notorious rogue.
Hello there. My name's Steve Weverill, a guy who spends far too much time jacking off horses. I also play Brandon Fymaster, the somewhat vain monk. In real life, I write comedy fantasy series such as the Doomsayer Journeys. Please do go and check that out.
Hey everybody, I am Drew Hayes, the Dungeon Master, aka the Master of Dungeons, here as always assisted by silent rule-checking Vin Diesel, who is, of course, contractually not allowed to speak, but yes, is present at every game. Stop asking. We keep reiterating this. It could not be more true. In real life, I write books such as Fred the Vampire Accountant, Superpowers, and the Spells, Swords, and Stealth series, the latest of which, Siege Tactics, is now available on audio. When last we left our intrepid adventurers, they had successfully managed to plow through, is really the only way to say this, a series of defenses on the room they were in. They had partially searched it and then decided that it was time for a nappy poo. Upon finishing a long rest, everyone please refill your character's hit points to full, and if you spent any hit die during short rests, you regain half of your maximum. So at level 7, that will be 3, up to 3. All right, it's a new day. I think it is time for a new initiative.
God damn.
So everybody, click on your tokens and then roll me initiative.
Really? I didn't know you could do an initiative roll from there.
You did. We've gone over this many times.
I
This is
know.
news to me, too.
It isn't. It provably isn't.
All right, Silas rolls a 12.
Fandingo rolls a 10.
Bjorg rolls an 11.
Like my little character icon?
Yes.
All right, Klaus rolls a 10. How did I only get a 10? That sucks.
So, Silas, you awaken first.
I awaken first.
What a responsibility.
I can think of the only thing I would do is go and probably pray over Klaus.
That's disturbing.
For either that he would see the error of his ways, or he would die a horrible death as a sinner. Whatever works.
So Silas is standing over Klaus, mumbling cryptically.
That's disturbing.
Bjorg, his mumbling awakens you.
Ugh.
I smell dick fungus.
Why am I always awoken by the mumbled prayers of shitty gods?
Maybe you should listen more closely then.
No. Is everyone else awake? What are we doing here? I need breakfast. Does anyone have food?
I believe most of you have rations of some kind.
Bjorg will eat some rations. Motherfucker needs a lot of calories to maintain this muscle mass.
It won't be delicious, but it will be trail rations.
It's fine. I've eaten so much salted beef.
Klaus, the sound of a barbarian enthusiastically tearing into backpack beef awakens you.
Ron Weasley Jeremy, what are you doing up here? Oh dear, no, that's Silas's dick. I will roll to the side.
Ron Weasley Jeremy spits upon you.
Is that how you pray?
I'm praying in a way that you can understand.
Well, yeah, I like to start the morning like any good morning and go root through some more trash. Do I remember which sections of this trash pile I've already searched? I say I hit the 3 on the right. All right, I'm gonna go around and go on here and search some garbage.
Oh God, I gotta remember what the damage for the garbage was. Well, first off, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Coming right up. Oh, Klaus rolls an 18.
All right, now roll me a dexterity.
Oh, Klaus rolls a 24.
Okay. With an investigation of 18 and a thing of 24, you can find... let's say you find a small purse containing 100 gold, and you manage to not injure yourself, because a 24 dex is pretty damn good.
All right, 100 gold.
Yes.
Klaus might not be much of a thief, but he knows how to root through shit piles.
He does know how to root through shit piles. Fendingo, you hear a thief rummaging through trash, and it awakens you, as it has many times in this adventure.
Get your hand out of the... Oh, wait.
It's not up your ass, don't worry. He doesn't want to touch you there, I don't think. I mean, never mind, I take that back. I'm pretty sure at this point we've figured out that Klaus will basically touch anything.
Fendingo's going to go over to the little thingy and touch his key to the thingy.
Nothing happens, because you had already done that yesterday.
I was almost dead when I did that, so I don't remember.
That's fair. But, you touch it, and you notice the gem that's already glowing that color continues to glow that color.
I didn't turn it off, guys. We're good.
Honestly, not screwing something up is sort of a success for you guys.
We are on the move. Finally learning how to be adventurers who don't fuck everything up. Give it time.
Whoa, now let's keep our aims realistic, Bjorg.
Give it time. Give it time.
Yeah. Brandon Thighmaster, it is your turn.
Brandon Firemaster awakes to don't fuck everything up. Sounds like good advice.
Fandingo celebrating not messing something up for once. It is a rare thing to wake up to.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful fucking day.
It is the morning. Klaus is in his trash pile.
In my element.
Seems like it's going to be a good day. Yeah, I'm going to tuck into those rations, and Brandon Firemaster will go for his morning routine, which I guess is just like doing a load of those fingertip press-ups from Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. What's on the agenda for today, brothers?
I think if you're going to try that workout plan, you need to spend an entire episode screaming and flexing.
Oh, I do that in my sleep, so you get out of the way.
That would explain that noise.
That would be amazing if he just spends all of his sleep in horse stance, screaming.
I just thought someone was killing a very British cat.
Well, yeah, maybe that too. Klaus is in the trash.
Brandon's long rest is powering up. All right, so Brandon is tucking into some backpack beef, bringing us to Silas.
Well, I guess we probably should get the hell out of here. Actually, before we get out of here, I'm going to go over here and, I don't know if I did this last time, but I'm going to jump into the fire pit.
Roll me an investigation?
Silas gets an 18.
Okay.
Silas is a morning person.
Yeah. As you leap into the middle of the ashes and bone and just general leftovers of this cooking pit, you rummage around and you find a book hidden at the very bottom.
Is it a book about Toreg?
You do not know if it's a book about Toreg or not. You do not speak Gnomish.
Brandon, come over here and read this. You know? So that, and if it is not about a certain god I can't mention, then we'll burn it.
I did think that. I thought it's just as well that this wasn't in a readable language, or we'd never get to see what this book is. Yeah, sure, Brandon will go over. I guess we're still in initiative now. Brandon will, I guess, finish his morning routine and go to see what Silas is squawking about this fine morning.
We'll find out about that book on your turn. Bjorg, you are eating backpack beef.
That was very invigorating. Klaus is in a trash pile. Silas is in a fire pit?
Honestly, this feels pretty right.
Yeah, we're both in our respective elements.
Yeah. Okay, Bjorg is gonna like mosey on over there to observe. He can't read, but it looks like it has a cool cover.
Klaus, you are trash digging.
All right, now, last time I remember, like with each square, I searched for like money, and then I could search for something else. Was that how it worked, or?
Nope, you were just investigating, and based on what you got, I was telling you what you saw. You then sort of tried to go for some of those things. It depended on what you picked up individually, but you don't get a list of options going in.
No,
you just get to
right.
roll, and then you go from based on that. So at 18 was good enough that I just gave you a straight.
All right, so there's no point searching this square again.
I mean, you can search through here as much as you want. The crux is that every time you do, you risk taking damage.
All right, well, I might as well search an unsearched. I'm going to go right in the middle square, in the center of the trash pile.
All right, roll me an investigation and a dex save.
Ooh, natural 1. And a dex save. Let's see if this was worth it. 13.
Okay, you're going to take 10 damage.
Jesus.
Like poke your eye on something.
As you shift through, remember there are blades and glass and sharp things just embedded through here, as you already know. And this time you see a ring, and you're like, oh, that looks shiny and worth fucking money. And so you reach down for it, even though it's in a dangerous section. You carve up your hand a little bit getting it, but you do get the ring.
Haha.
Oh.
All you found is tetanus.
I totally heard like, you know, oh, that looks worth fucking.
Yep.
I got a ring then. All right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, Fendingo, it is your turn.
I'm just going to hang out and tune my lute till Brandon reads the book.
All right, Fendingo's jerking off.
Yep. Wow. I haven't taken damage. I haven't fucked anything up. Sitting in right here.
This is peak
Playing with
Fendingo.
my
This is as
lute.
good as your day gets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quit while you're ahead.
All right then. Fendingo is hanging out. We'll go ahead and just say you slammed some breakfast rations.
Yeah, sure.
Brandon Thighmaster, it is now your turn. You walk over and can take the book from Silas.
Okay, I will take the book from Silas, have a little bit of a flip through, see what it's about.
The cursory skim will get you that this is a diary from a gnome. You can see that his name is Cobble Wobble.
Fucking such a hipster name.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me an investigation, actually. Let's see what you get on a cursory skim. Let's see how lucky you are on your page hits.
Okay. Brandon Firemaster rolls a 5.
Oh my god, okay. You are mostly just seeing entries about, like, ideas for potential traps, but, like, they're so theoretical and, like, far out there that it's like, well, this is obviously nothing we faced or could face. Some of them are, like, dimension blades, and you're like, well, that's not a thing. But a 5 is at least above a 5, or a 5 or better, so I will give you one thing. You do see a thing where you're like, wait, that kind of looks like one of the traps we dealt with. That is the only thing of use you find on your first skim.
All right. Hey, brothers, I speak Gnomish. And this book seems to be about traps. Is that at all relevant to our situation?
Yeah.
I would think it would be, given that we just had literally walked through a wall of traps.
We bled a lot in that room.
I found a trapped pile of garbage.
It was invigorating.
Life without prayer is one big trap.
That is the worst tract I've ever heard.
You know, seeing Silas in that fire pit really makes my fireball fingers all itchy.
I was wondering, I was like, why is he in it and it is not ignited? That seems,
Fandango's
strange.
balls are itchy.
Well, until now, he had the book, and you didn't know if that was going to be useful or not. So you can't light it up while he's right there.
Oh, I really could, but he wasn't being annoying then.
He was alive, wasn't he?
I mean, he wasn't being, exceptionally annoying. Well, no, that's not true either.
Speaking of Silas, it is your turn.
Silas climbs out of the fire pit, looking a little disappointed that actually nobody did set him ablaze in there, since that's all he's worth.
Missed opportunity.
I guess I'll start wandering over back to the trap thing, because at some point we probably do need to get out of here.
Didn't we remember finding some information about a hidden alcove on security level 3?
Something about that, yeah. That sounds familiar.
Okay, well, while everyone else has taken a turn, I guess Brandon will look a bit more carefully at the book, specifically looking for anything that might mention security level 3.
Silas says, well, we just got through that giant wall of spikes. We lost most of our skin, but nothing to see here. Let's go back through it.
That's pretty much Silas's philosophy out of life.
Pain. Give me more pain.
The reward is in the journey. That's
All right, collectively, do you guys want to keep doing stuff, or do you want to let Brandon roll some investigations with advantage and take his time on the book?
I'm fine with that.
I'm good with
Let's get
being...
the information.
I'd still like to look through the garbage until I decide I've lost enough hit points that it's not worth it anymore.
He's just
Okay.
He's going to swim through the garbage while the Willy Wonka theme plays.
Then, Klaus, go ahead and give me a... go ahead and do a move. Give me a dex save and an investigation. Oh, and what did you do with that ring?
I'm going to put it on.
Alrighty.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure defenestration.
Investigation 19.
Nice.
Dexterity 22.
Okay. You get through. You see in this area mostly trash. The easy skimmable good stuff you already kind of got in this little area.
Oh, I've been to this one?
Yep.
Bummer. Okay.
All right. Brandon Thighmaster, go ahead and give me an investigation with advantage. We're going to let you take your time on this.
Okay, Brandon Firemaster rolls a 17 investigation.
All right. Seeing as you are taking your time, you will dig through, you will learn some important things. First of all, you guys are on security level 2 right now, because this is the second of the 3 doors that you had to have general clearance to get in. So he does mention this a few times. Cobble Wobble was the chief trap engineer for this area. You kind of read through, this was a research facility initially. Of course, defenses were very important. He designed that trap testing room is what you guys came through. And he, as you're kind of skimming, you can see that he rigged up the above ground system that you can use to cross. As he became aware that this facility had become compromised. That's right, you're getting a little backstory.
Oh.
You see that Cobble Wobble discovered that although they thought the aboleth's influence was contained, it appears to have begun corrupting some of his fellow researchers, offering them forbidden knowledge and information to pursue darker experimental paths. He believed in his conjecture that some of these perhaps had been gone down before, especially in the bioengineering department. which is security level 3's sort of a... So security level 1 is like where the baseline bioengineering kind of took place, what they were doing on the straightforward. He also found that little hidden thing that you guys did. It was like, oh no, shit's been going down. This is the trap testing area. Originally, there was more than just bare traps in that next room, but as shit went down, it became a defensive point. The next one is the part for upper management and the high-level experiments. And yeah, so that's Security Alcove 3, and it is the most dangerous. Yeah, at the ending, you see Cobblewobble talking about making a final push. He believes that the Abolist plan is going to come to fruition, and he's going to try to stop it. And that is the final entry in Cobblewobble's journal.
Oh, what a fucking loser.
Bjorg actually sounds rather moved by this and is like, this monstrosity must be brought to an end.
Are we talking about Silas again?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You know, to put this in perspective, it doesn't look like Cobblewobble did very well here, and he almost killed us with a pile of wood.
Yes, but was he trying to trap the thing?
Almost doesn't count.
That's right. I like that optimism. I like this energy, guys.
A lifetime of almost is a lifetime of never.
Hey, you haven't run into any evil gnomes, so he clearly did at least one thing right.
Yes! All the evil gnomes are dead.
Silas is looking forward to running into some evil fake dwarves.
Wow, that's not racist.
Klaus, go ahead and give yourself another move and save and check.
All right, going to the left.
And Brandon, you can keep digging through the diary. There are a lot of interesting schematics and specifics and stuff.
Klaus rolls a 22 for investigation.
Okay.
And a 14 for dexterity.
Ooh, okay. 9 damage.
God damn it.
But
Some fucking brutal.
you find a key. It's a very strange, interesting. It's a very gentronome key. It's got kind of the same stone with like some glowing blue material woven in. This looks like a very specific kind of key. And in fact, perhaps the very item that this entire pile was made to protect. Well done, Klaus.
All right.
Holy shit. He accidentally did something useful.
Please don't pee on it.
No problem.
Now we've got 2 mysterious keys now, right?
Gentronome key is in my inventory.
I don't know, Steve, how many mysterious keys do you have?
I believe Fandingo has one from the previous trap room. And Klaus just found a trash key. Excellent. Again, so many keys.
My ring isn't by chance healing my wounds, is it?
It is not.
Ah, bummer.
That would have been convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. While Klaus is screaming about damage and finding keys, I guess Brandon will continue to investigate the book. Do I get advantage on that still?
Yeah, if you're taking your time, you do, but a 16 is not better than you did last time.
No.
Bjorg is just walking over to Brandon now and looking over his shoulder and like, are there pictures?
But I guess you are reading a different part of it. I guess we'll say cumulative time spent can work just to move things along. As you are reading through, you find a description of you find his plotting of a path of a way to move through the wood barricade that's blocking this room safely. It requires some very specific movements, but with a baseline dexterity check, anyone can do it with that knowledge. And you find some references to where the security alcove hiding the slot gem is, along with some very explicit warnings that the slot is extremely dangerous.
Oh, that is handy. Okay, brothers, I've got a better way to get through this trap than our admittedly successful tactic from last time.
How could it be better than taking no damage? Will it actually heal me as I walk through?
You're slowly killing yourself in a trash pile.
It's not slow.
I almost died walking through it this time. Can you do better than that?
I'd just like to point out that there's a section in the book called Avoiding the Trash Pile Trap, and the secret is to not dive into a pointy pile of trash.
That sounds too complex.
That's a little too complicated.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay, Brandon will relay the trap avoiding information to everyone and point it out to them.
It's so simple.
You may now pass through the wooden trap one at a time because the section is right here. And you can do so as long as you get a dex of 5 or better. Just don't eat shit and you're fine.
I predict 2 of us will fuck this up.
Yeah, I predict you're probably right.
We're heading back through?
I mean, you don't have to. It's you guys just have the knowledge now.
Wait a second. That the thing Fandingo's standing next to, that's not another like shopping kiosk, is it?
No.
No, that's the key gem
Okay.
terminal that's been in all the labs.
Okay.
It made my key all glowy.
Nope, you have to go back to the hub if you want to buy shit.
Okay. Can I just finish up the trash pile?
You can go nuts, man.
All right. I'm gonna go up one more.
All right, investigation and dexterity.
Go nuts until you know guts.
He's like a kid in Chuck E. Cheese.
If there were knives in the ball pit.
There are knives in the ball pit.
Oh, God. Rusty metal Chuck E. Cheese. That would have solved so many problems.
Yeah.
Jesus, Rick, you should have just got an abortion.
I didn't say for my kids.
Oh, all right. 20 for investigation. Ooh, shit. Natural 1
Yeah,
for
that's
dexterity.
that's Torre coming back at you.
All right, well that's 25 damage.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Oh, and I'm at -2.
He's going to die how he lived.
In
In trash.
You see a sparkling gem, and you're like, "Oh yeah!" And you reach, and it was so clearly a trap, like woven into this thing, and you just get speared by a bunch of random objects as you are. Yeah, you're shredded. You don't get the gem. You are
Aw.
bleeding. The gem vanishes in the avalanche of trash.
This is
anybody-
bullshit.
Does anybody have a grappling hook we can throw in there and drag him out?
Yeah, Klaus does.
Well, I'm all out of ideas.
All right, Fandingo, you just saw a mountain of trash fall on Klaus, and you heard the very familiar sound of blood hitting the floor.
You asshole. Fandingo casts Mass Healing Word on Klaus for 6 points of healing.
Klaus, you are at 6.
All right. Thanks, man.
I'm not doing it again. Get out of the garbage, you moron.
Trash. I was all prepared to have a funeral. He died as he lived, and now he is one with his element.
Brandon Thighmaster.
He's not even going to comment. I'm just getting out of this room. Okay, I'll make my way through the path through the trap.
Yep, give me an acrobatics and just do better than 5.
Please do better than 5.
I'll even say you guys have advantage because this is you have the schematics of how this trap works.
Ooh, 21 for acrobatics.
Excellent.
There you go.
Do I still have to do this 2 moves at a time?
Yes, it is still intricate enough that it does take. But I mean, you can do both in one turn.
Oh, okay. I will do that.
Say, yeah, well, fuck it. Just for speed of game,
Sure.
we'll just let you do one each. So go
Okay.
ahead and move up. Make your next check.
Second
You're
check
good.
was 10 acrobat. 11 with advantage. Well, it's more
Better
than
than 5. You're out.
Yeah. Hooray.
Silas, you're up.
All right. Doing the same.
Acrobatics with advantage.
19.
You're fine. One more.
9.
Oof. Yeah. That's not disadvantage.
That was a lot less fun than the last time.
Bjorg.
All right, so it's just a straight dex check here.
Acrobatics.
That should be
But you have
okay.
advantage, and you just have to beat a 5.
All right. Acrobatics 7. Advantage, so 15.
15.
Yep.
All right. One more.
And that is a 19.
All right. You are out. Klaus, I need a dex save from you. Whichever direction you go, you're going to have to pass through trash.
Yeah, all right. So I might as well search the place I haven't yet.
If you search, it's going to be a higher it's going to be a higher DC.
Well, I gotta search.
All right. Investigation and a dex save.
Investigation, 18. Dexterity, 10.
Oh, Jesus.
9 damage.
All right, I'm at -3.
Damn it!
Dexterity is supposed to be my thing.
The absolute commitment to character of this guy.
Dexterity checks did not kill you. Stupidity killed you.
It's like playing D&D with Gary fucking Oldman.
You were the Sean Bean of trash piles.
All right. Fandango. There is no one on this side with you. If you leave Klaus for dead, no one will ever know. Terrifying amount of power in your hands right now.
I can't reach in there to steal his shit without potentially hurting myself, so... Alright, fuckwit, 5 points of healing.
Yay, thanks, man.
And I'll use my move action to walk to the barricade. Really, really not doing it again.
All right. Does anybody want to do anything, or should we just go to Klaus?
I want to jump to a fight where we blatantly need those heals.
Oh, I want to lock up another long rest before we go anywhere else where might need to heal you fuckers.
Yeah. You guys do still have to get back through the trap room. That's the fun part.
Oh, God.
Klaus, you are at the edge. You can step out without having to roll.
Okay, stepping out.
All right.
And I'll go down next to Fandango, and I'll let him go through the trap or through the wall first, and then I'll follow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are not going to have advantage on your roll because no one was able to show you the path. You can watch Fandango do it, so I'll still give you the lowered DC, though.
Okay.
Fandango, go ahead and give me acrobatics with advantage.
Alrighty, the first step is a 15.
All right, give me one more.
And the second step is a 20.
You are good. All right, Klaus.
Don't
your last
worry,
one.
guys. Dexterity is my thing.
DC 5, you don't have advantage.
Oh, good.
Okay. Acrobatics. 25.
All right, you're good. One more.
And 23.
You are good. You're out the other side.
That's would have been nice in the trash pile.
Yeah. All right. Well done, team. So, all right. So as you all step back into the trap room, something very noticeable occurs to you all. Now, the last room was, of course, well lit and nice and etc. This one was dark. You all had to navigate using your respective dark visions and enchanted coins. This time, the moment you walk into the darkness, Klaus lights up. He is throwing off a shitload of light, equivalent to a torch, actually. He is impossible to miss. In fact, your eyes are almost drawn to him.
Is it coming from my finger?
It is coming from all of you.
Oh,
Great,
all right.
Such a failure as a rogue.
great fucking stealth roll there.
The anti-rogue.
The ring of car alarm.
Something seems different. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Well, we don't need to be too stealthy in a trap room. I mean,
To be fair, you also put on a necklace, so there's two potential things it could be.
He's put on so much magic now that he glows in the dark.
Hey, Klaus, what happens if you put on your ring of invisibility while you're glowing like a motherfucker?
I don't know, but I better put that necklace in my inventory because. Oh wait, is that amulet or is that something different?
Amulet.
Okay, that did. Woohoo!
Nice one.
Um,
Amulet of conspicuousness.
I don't mind glowing. We need to see anyway.
All right. Well, Silas, you will start us off at the top of the initiative in this new room.
All right, I'll pull out the I'll pull out that coin, because I'm not planning on sticking near Klaus. And try securing my rope to something so I can lower myself down.
With Klaus glowing like a motherfucker, how far can we see?
I think 30 feet of standard light, and then another 30 feet of dim light. So 60 feet total, but after 30, it's kind of shittier and hard to see.
I hate this room.
Do we have to re-roll initiative?
Nah, we're just keeping you guys in the initiative you were in. This, I don't imagine will be especially complex, given that the entire point of this room is to make it really hard to get higher, but getting lower is super easy.
Right, let's everybody punish Drew for his hubris.
All right, Silas, you are trying to secure a rope. Give me a survival.
A 13.
You tie off the rope.
Well, then I will lower myself down.
I'm going to say tying off a rope kind of took your action. Bjorg.
I tied off this rope. Anybody else want to try it first?
Bjorg will go down the rope.
Bjorg, roll me a athletics, since climbing is an action. And you are all no longer under your potions of climbing.
That's a 15.
15. Okay, and roll me a D100.
That is a 16.
All right, let's see. Silas, roll me a dexterity save.
I don't know why I didn't say I was holding it. 18.
Okay, that is good enough. So what happened is you did not do a great job tying off that rope, but you didn't do a terrible job. So I gave it a 25% chance that it would unravel under Bjorg's weight. He rolled a 16, so yeah, it happened. But at an 18, you are fast enough to catch the rope as it comes unraveled, if you so choose.
Yes, I so choose. The moshing Bjorg's like, you ruined my nut.
All right, then roll me a strength check.
It was a shitty knot.
15.
Bjorg, what do you weigh?
Hold on, let me check his sheet. According to his sheet, 275 pounds.
I don't know the exact translation, but 15's pretty good. What the hell? We will say that a 15's good enough that Silas catches it and grabs hold. Which, so, yeah, he grabs it, he gets you, and he's not going to be able to hold Bjorg, but he can slow the descent enough that Bjorg will hit the ground without taking damage. But the rope is loose in your hand. It is no longer tied off. And Bjorg, give me a d6.
All right, let's see here. Try not to have that stupid song stuck in my head. All right, that's a 2.
All right, you're fine. Klaus, it is your turn.
It's fine down here.
All right, Klaus.
Don't move.
I have to move.
No, don't move.
Do you have an alternative idea?
I do. And it can only help you.
Well, I'm all about only helping me. What is it?
You gotta sit there and trust me.
All right, yeah, that's fine. That's the best seat in the house.
All right, you're right next to each other in initiative. You guys can just take your turn together if Fandango has an idea.
Klaus, climb on my back.
Oh, that sounds like something that's only helping you.
Nope.
Klaus, athletics.
All right.
No, like I'm just gonna bend down and give him a piggyback
Oh,
ride.
Jesus.
Okay, let's see. Klaus, you're a half-elf.
We're both half elves.
All right, and
But that doesn't make it like. All right, never mind.
I'm trying to figure out your size for weight concerns. Because I have to figure out if Fandango has the strength to carry you easily.
I'm not carrying him. I just need to pick him up long enough to cast Dimension Door and nope right the fuck out of this room.
I think you're going to be fine regardless.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, you're just in that realm. You're okay. Lucky thing he is half-elf and they are slightly lighter. Okay, where are you going to Dimension Door to?
To the platform by the original door, because I don't have to see where I'm going. I just have to be able to visualize it.
And you have definitely been to that platform a few times. All right, I'll give it to you.
And it has a 500-foot range, so...
No, you guys are good. and you can take people through on Dimension Door.
I can carry one person my size or smaller and all their shit.
All right, yeah, that is perfect.
And Klaus is the only other half elf.
That's Ron Weasley, Jeremy in my pocket, by the way.
Liar. But we're just not ever going to talk about this again.
All right.
Wow.
Okay, but
All right, we're not going to talk about it, Drew.
one thing, at the spot where they vanished, a weasel appears.
Devil weasel, kill it!
As Ron Weasley Jeremy, Dimension Door very specifically says one willing creature. So, Ron Weasley Jeremy was left behind.
All right. So it wasn't Ron Weasley, Jeremy. This is so embarrassing.
I should point out to people who aren't watching this on YouTube that this picture of a weasel looks a lot cleaner than I imagined Ron Weasley Jeremy.
I mean, you're just assuming that because his fur is white, that's clean. But remember, he's Klaus's weasel, so...
Oh, Jesus. Any kind of like, what is the fantasy equivalent of heavy rubber gloves? Remind me to get some.
All right, Brandon Thighmaster, it is your turn.
Ah, Jesus. Here, weasel. Like, I've got a burlap sack. Get in the sack, weasel. I'm not touching you.
The weasel understands. It's smart enough. It's a familiar. It will climb into the sack. This is truly probably cleaner than the places where Klaus keeps it.
You have Klaus's. You're just gonna look at me like, you have Klaus's weasel in your sack.
It smells like cheese.
I could just tie him to an arrow and shoot him across.
If I have any more move actions, I'd like to move away from Silas.
Yeah, that's fair. Here, I'm just gonna delete the weasel. He's with you.
Delete the fucking weasel.
Here, I'm gonna. What do I put on you to signify that you have a weasel on you?
Stink lines.
Let's see. Radioactive symbol.
Yeah, that's good too.
There we go.
All right, Brandon Thighmaster has collected Ron Weasley Jeremy. Silas, you are holding a rope and your hands hurt a little.
I'm gonna try tie it off again. Hopefully, Bjorg doesn't ruin this one.
Okay.
I am already down here.
Survival check.
Silas gonna tie one off.
One.
Not natural somehow. That's impressive. Okay, so you yeah, buddy, you tie it off, and man, this time, no, it's not a natural one. Fuck it. You don't even get the knot. Like, you somehow tie a bunny rabbit.
Goddamn weasel is distracting me.
Bjorg, you are on the ground.
All right. Well, let's see here. He's done this before, so he's just gonna start heading across the room.
All right, you can move. Let's see. Okay, you get 80 feet of movement, and you will need to roll me 16 d6.
67.
That's fine.
That's not a one.
I can hover over it, and I
bitch.
can see that there were 2 ones in that.
Okay.
God damn.
That's all I needed.
All right.
So, give me 2 dex saves.
All right. Dex does not completely suck this time. 1 and 1.
All right, you take 11 damage,
All right. That's
but you get your 80 feet as floor spike. But the rest you nimbly avoid, or the rest actually don't even trigger.
The ones that triggered you didn't avoid at all.
Yeah, they came up and Bjorg just crunched right on through. All right, Klaus and Fandango. Do y'all want to push back to the hub room, or just start down the hallway, or do you want to wait for your party?
My ass ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna just sit down. Oh, is this like a short rest opportunity, or?
Short rest is 15 minutes, so probably not.
Okay, then I'll just watch them get hurt, and no, I gotta stay and watch for Ron Weasley Jeremy anyway.
It's true. Speaking of, Brandon Thighmaster, you've just witnessed Silas really fail at tying a knot. Just fuck it up royally. Almost as bad as possible.
Klaus dropped his weasel. Silas can't tie a rope.
Everybody's fucking up in so many directions.
Yeah. I'm just going to take the bridge. I'm going to clap on my dick light and just walk along the bridge.
You be careful. You have like somebody important with you.
No, I'm over here.
Well, the good news is that since Klaus exposed these holes, you
Well
can
done, Klaus.
It's not all exposed.
you can just hop over them with a simple acrobatics check.
Okay, so first hole, acrobatics. Brandon Firemaster rolls an 18.
All right, you're good on the first hole.
Second hole, acrobatics. 16.
Ooh, you are real lucky not to have disadvantage on any of this.
Let's be honest, Brandon is, despite his impressive physique, Brandon actually has very little experience with holes.
There you go.
That is true.
All right, you have made it to the 35-foot mark,
Okay.
and you're at the end of the bridge.
Notice how I've already traversed half the room without running across spikes, Silas. Just putting it out there.
All right, unless you're going to drop down, that's probably going to be your turn.
No, that's fine. I'm planning something else.
All right. Silas, you are holding a rope that is not at all tied off.
Oh, fuck it. I'll just follow him.
Okay, give me 2 acrobatics checks as you go over the holes.
22 and 17.
All right, you can make it to Brandon Thighmaster's side, but unless you're about to drop down, that's going to be your turn.
Okay.
I'll let you guys drop with the remaining action, but there's not really much else you can do. All right, Bjorg, you can make it 9, 10. At your best route, 10 d6s is the minimum.
Okay. All right. So he'll just do that.
3 ones. So give me 3 dexterity saves.
All right.
Hey, only the first one gets you, and you take 4 damage as the natural 20 avoids the second, and as like an afterthought, the 18 avoids the third. You're like, eh, woo, man, I saved the shit. Oh, another one. All right, well, whatever. I'm still riding that high.
He just basically like poses and pirouettes as he dances around it. Giant,
All right.
giant Julius Bjornsson type guy jumping around things.
Bjorg, you have made it to the other side of the platform.
I can climb up the ladder.
Yep.
What's
Klaus
up,
and
big guy?
Fendingo are resting. Brandon Thighmaster and Silas will just kind of do you guys as a pair for the remainder of this.
Oh, I would like to burn a key point to use Step of the Wind and see if I could jump over to this adjacent platform.
It doubles your jump distance.
That is correct. Because I have athletic as a feat, I can do it with a 5-foot run up rather than a 10-foot. So Brandon Firemaster will take a 5-foot back to run up and then launch, hopefully, gracefully across the void. Saying bye-bye, Silas.
All right. Well, luckily this one is pretty straightforward. Jumping distance, long jump. You cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet, except for 5 for you. So that is a jump of 15 with your strength score, and we double it thanks to your key, so that gives you a long jump range of 30. So you can make it to the other platform.
Whee.
Just barely.
Go.
All right.
Is there anything
yeah.
on the platform? Because I don't think anyone made it to this platform before.
Klaus got up here at one point. You can tell because there's an exposed trap hole
Penis.
right here.
All right, yeah. It's the leavings of the rogue.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, he did help you cross that bridge by identifying all those traps.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys.
He does it in his own way, but he does the job. All right, well, that was just one movement and a bonus, so you've still got some movement left if you'd like to use it.
If I can take another move to get to the other side of this platform.
I'm going to need an acrobatics since you're going to have to jump over a bridge hole, but otherwise you're good.
Brandon Firemaster rolls a 24 to jump over the Klaus hole.
All right, you get over the Klaus hole. You are now at about 25 feet up. Silas, it is your turn.
All right. Well, let's see here.
Brandon just did some kind of weird monk jump thing. It was kind of cool.
Well, Silas is going to do something even cooler, and he will misty step over to here.
All right. I was expecting that we would get to see that trick. That is a good use of it.
So does Silas basically just like turn to fog when he does that?
I don't know, Silas. How does it work? Flavor it up for us.
Oh, basically, I take a step, I disappear. You guys are like, yes, he's finally gone, but then he just reappears kind of like, from thin air elsewhere.
I don't like this.
Oh, and that is only a bonus action. So
I will head down to where Brandon is.
give me an acrobatics, please.
An 18.
All right. You successfully make it down there, and you've still got an action left.
I guess try tying up my rope again.
Give me a survival.
15.
You have tied a rope. All right. Brandon Thighmaster.
Uh,
There is a big swinging guillotine between you and that platform.
yeah, I was just thinking
FYI.
about that. I don't know. Do I try and be cool and jump past the pendulum, or do I just risk the floor spikes?
There are spikes on the chain, I'd like to tell you, because you're carrying Ron Weasley Jeremy.
Jump,
Very good of you.
jump.
Silas has tied off a rope, for whatever that's worth.
They all mocked my rope.
Yeah. I'm not trusting Silas's rope.
Honestly, at this point, who can blame you?
I'm just going to use slow fall and step off.
You're just going to jump off?
Yep, slow fall, float gracefully down.
How does slow fall work?
I think in this case it reduces so much fall damage that it wouldn't actually do any fall damage, but let me double check. Reduce any falling damage you take by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level.
Wow. Well, I definitely didn't do more than 45 points of falling damage, so you can just ignore it.
Free.
Ow.
Gracefully float down.
But give me a d6.
Yeah, this is where I
Still
come to
touching
an
the floor.
ungraceful halt on the tip of a spike. Oh, rolls a 6.
You're fine.
Sweet.
Monk flips. So hot right now.
Silas. Brandon just stepped off the edge and gently floated to the ground.
You try it now, Silas.
Think a happy thought.
Silas will rappel down to the ground with his with the rope.
Roll me an athletics check.
You
to
bring
keep climbing.
shame on Toreg.
Not that he can say it.
Yeah. I was like, hey, don't speak him, especially when I can't.
Torag.
13 acrobatics.
All right. We'll just say you can slide all the way down. And you can roughly land here. Give me a d6.
6.
You're good. And then tell me what your plan, if any, is for recovering this rope that is now tied off to the top of the platform.
I tied it pretty shittily, so give it a good yank.
No, 15 was pretty solid. That's why I let you get down.
Well,
The one time.
This rope gave its life for me. So
Alrighty. Let's see. At this point, it's just a matter of you both getting over, which you can both get there in an optimum pattern of 6 movements. So let's just have you both roll me 66, and we will get this resolved. All right, only one in that grouping. So give me a dex save.
Oof. Brandon Firemaster rolls a 9 dexterity.
All right, Brandon Thighmaster, you make it back to the platform, but you do take 7 points of floor spike damage as you're just kind of running back over. And as you arrive, the weasel leaps from your bag and skitters over into Klaus's arms.
Oh, welcome back, Ron Weasley Jeremy.
I think this is the first time I've seen him care about something.
It definitely the first
Hey,
time we've seen you care
I've
about
cared
something.
about Ron Weasley Jeremy before.
Silas makes his way over, laughing at the puddle of blood that Brandon left behind, as he nimbly just stepping on floor spikes. I used to sleep on floor spikes.
Silas's magic luck with the floor spikes holds as he makes it to the other side without triggering a single one.
Dipshit.
Yeah, well, one of us still has a rope, so...
I'm sure you need it, amateur.
Says the only one who actually needed a rope.
Oh, that was a lot quicker coming out than it was going in.
Yeah, it's really made to be an uphill battle, literally. All right, unless you guys have anything else, you can begin trekking back down the hallway, making your way through the twists and turns, and finally returning to the hub room, where you walk back in to hear the gentle gentronome music playing and a soft voice whisper, "Welcome to the Gentronome Hub. Please spend your earnings quickly and return to work." And that is probably a good place to cut it off here, because I'm sure you guys are going to want to explore and shop around when we get back in. But if you would like, does anyone want to kick up for a short rest?
How about a long rest for the guy who healed the fuck out of the thief?
Yeah, and rogue, and for the rogue who still has a lot of hit points he needs back.
So for reference, to take a long rest is to take an 8-hour rest, basically. So you guys are free to do that, but we're going to have to keep playing on letting the others do stuff unless you can convince them to also post up for 8 hours.
Do we have other shit to do?
I mean, you're back in the shopping room, so yeah, I'm going to assume they're going to do shit after without you guys.
All right, we can make that decision next time.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm just letting you know, if you don't convince them to be part of it, you're going to miss out on whatever they do.
I could try a persuasion check on all of them.
That's the danger of a long rest, is you can't keep doing them back to back to back because people get bored. Oh. And, it's hard to wake up, do something, and go back to sleep for 8 hours. I hear.
Not if you've been dead 3 times.
Technically not dead, just unconscious.
Yeah, so you already got several short rests.
Well, we'll at least give you guys a short rest. You can figure out the long rest schematics next time on Authors and Dragons. For now, we are going to cut away to the second part of the show where we take your questions. First, we start off at the Discord chat where our Patreons get to cut the line. Rick, what have we got for us tonight?
All right. Well, we'll start off with a bit of a sad one, but I think it's one we should definitely honor. Our friend Leland tells us that his cousin unfortunately died from ALS this week. He would like us to send him off to the great beyond with one final "fuck you, Chris."
All right. 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Chris. Well, it was bad, and really that is the most sincere one we can give you.
Yeah.
And also, fuck ALS.
Yeah, fuck ALS.
Yeah, fuck Luke here.
Our condolences, man.
Yeah, that really sucks.
All right. Let's see here. Our friend Tiggy asks, "What's the strangest request or question you've gotten as an author?"
I don't know, just having somebody ask me to sign their boob count.
I'm still waiting for that one.
No, because I've done that.
I always think it's a weird request when people try to write in to get you to write a book idea they have.
Yeah, I think everyone gets that at some point.
Yeah, if that didn't happen like once a fucking week, I would think it was strange, but goddamn.
It conceptually, to me, it's just always a weird one to get, because it's just like, I truly do not know how you thought this would go, but even in your best case scenario, I'm not going to write the book you want because you have to write that book.
I gotta say that, again, it sounds pretty basic, but the one that always just like leaves me going the fuck is, where do you get your ideas? I just I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to that? Yeah, I go down to the idea shop and I pee in the magical idea machine, and then a tree grows and I pluck it off a branch and then I eat it.
Joe, that's giving away the trade secrets, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's okay.
They have to pay the $30 for the self-help book to find out about the tree.
It's been out of date for a while. And corporate types chop the tree down.
I don't know. Whenever I get something like that's like, do you have to make your characters curse? Is it really necessary to the plot? And it's like, it's a book. The entire thing is plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like when, like, I understand if you're reading, I think, like, I get levels of, content moderation for like young adult or middle grade or whatever, but it's like when you're picking up an adult book, it's like, well, why are you, I'm not writing sanitized, like someone for Skyfair, they're like, God, it was so jarring when someone cursed. And I'm like, and the child abuse and vigorous gore. Oh, and the part where someone said they wanted to skull fuck someone else. Like, that didn't seem weird.
Well, technically that's cursing.
Just the
Yeah,
F-bomb.
I'm kind of drunk, so.
I haven't really gotten a lot of bad questions, mostly just super specific ones, which I don't mind because I write super detail-y books, so obviously I'm into that too.
I think the only request I get is hurry up and write more stuff, which isn't an unreasonable request at all for me. So, yeah.
Keep those requests coming.
Yeah. And remind us that you want our shit. You'll pay money for it.
Yeah, I got the same thing with the cursing and the pooping and stuff, and then it carries over to the.
Your book about cursing and pooping has.
I know, right?
Yeah, if you go into a Robert Bevan book and get shitty about the content, that's on you.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what's even shittier? If you go into book 6 and leave a review that says, this is disgusting. I can't believe there's just so many poop jokes, and I read books 1 through 5 and I thought, well, it's gonna get better now.
It's like going into the 6th Star Trek movie. God, what's with all this fucking space bullshit?
Keep waiting for the elf princess. I was promised an elf princess in my imagination.
This book isn't a book that I made up in my head and somehow thought you wrote.
I swear, for years I've been threatening to do like a Channel 11 edit, where I just take all the curses in my books and just replace them with nonsense.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
And then just be like, here's a clean version of my book.
Just replace every instance of fuck with Fancy Man.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I thought it would be fun to try and write the most bland, generically plotted book I could, but then a part of me is always deeply afraid that's going to be my most successful book, and I'm just going to end up hating my art for the rest of my life.
You'll be like Bob Saget on Full House. It's like, all I want to do is curse, and everybody wants me to take pictures with their kids.
Yeah.
God. If somebody could just design an app that transforms the word fuck into fancy and fucker into fancy man, I might actually use that app.
Rick, what's another question from the Discord?
All right. Our friend Alec asks, what's the weirdest thing you've seen while driving at night?
Your mom.
I was waiting for that.
That's our boy.
Weirdest.
I'll tell you what. I actually have a story for driving at night. I was driving through my town, which used to be quite a kind of dicey place, and I saw these 2 boys kicking another boy who was on the ground, really enthusiastically kicking him. The instinct within me to kind of jump in triggered in before I actually realized what was going on, so I slammed my brakes on, beat my horn, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? It really looked like they were laying into this kid. But then I'd sort of noticed they were just doing an elaborate pantomime to pretend they were kicking the shit out of this kid. The fool drivers like me into thinking that somebody is being kicked to death. I was like, that might be funny in a town where people didn't used to get kicked to death.
So Steve, did you stop your car and then kick them to death?
Yeah, I'll show you. What ironic punishment can I visit upon you? Maybe now you appreciate the severity of what it is you were doing.
Man, you scared me so much by pretending to kick this kid to death. Now I'm going to kick you to death.
Fuck. It's the only way you'll learn. So yeah, that was strange.
I think I told this one already, but I had a weird one over this past summer when I went down to Wyvacon. First night there, I stayed out doing this game night, and I'm driving back. I mean, the streets are pretty empty, but I mean, it's not a big deal. It's relatively well lit. And there's a bunch of shit running out in front of the road. I mean, it's West Virginia. I mean, I see a raccoon, I see a dog, I see all sorts of shit. And then I see something cross in front of my truck that just looks like 2 legs without a body. And I'm just watching this thing walk, and I'm like, the fuck? I'm like slowing down. There's no traffic, fortunately, and I just watch it cross in front of me, and then like it just kind of like disappears on the side of the road. And I turn my head, and I'm just like, please don't be a graveyard. Please don't be a graveyard. And I turn my head, and of course, I'm driving next to a fucking graveyard.
Well, that's some high Silent Hill shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I had a so I'm gonna caveat this. I wasn't driving when this happened. I was in the parking lot after class, and the gym we train at is in kind of a it's not like a super rough part of town, but it's a part of town that you wouldn't necessarily want to hang out at by yourself at night. And basically, so I'm in the parking lot. We've just been shooting the shit, talking to each other as we do. And all of a sudden, like I've seen crack dealers wander through here. Like we've been asked if we wanted to buy weed. We've had some dude on his way to a halfway house screaming incoherently at us. So like strange is not unusual. But this night I hear like dog noises from up the street, like loud, weird, screechy dog noises, and I'm like, oh fuck, is someone killing an animal? And then around the corner, like this killed all conversation. Around the corner comes a woman in full like bondage gear, and only bondage gear, like leather strap. We're talking like Bayonetta shit. And in front of her on two leashes are two men in gimp masks, completely nude. She's just like out walking her subs late at night, and they just kind of like totally casual as all just like walk past our parking lot and keep on going towards downtown, and we're just like, well, that happened.
Yeah, I can't top that.
Yeah, shut your fucking dogs up.
Just like that. Yeah, the dudes were making dog noises and everything. I'm like, you know what? On the one hand, damn, that was weird. On the other hand, I almost guarantee those people are living their best lives. So
I don't know. I mean, how bored are we as a species? Doesn't anybody just fucking jerk off anymore? Christ.
I was going to say, after hearing that story, I am.
Wow, I didn't know seeing weird shit while driving was this much of a thing. I don't really have anything for this one, and I'm definitely not going to try to fucking follow Joe. Yeah. Jesus.
So you live in Texas, Drew. There should be a weirdest story every night you go out.
I mean, at a certain point, it's not weird to see wildlife on the road anymore. It's just driving at night.
I think what's if we change it to walking at night?
Oh, man. All right, Joe, why don't we throw to the Facebook and see what those wonderful folks have for us?
Okay, let's see here. All right, so our friend Sullivan says, so I am a poor, starving college student that subscribes to your Patreon. What's the most frivolous thing you've ever spent money on?
Some kind of Bob.
I feel like this is bait.
Well, the Patreon money, nothing, because that all just goes right back into the podcast. That one's pretty straightforward. Like, personal life, most frivolous, dumb shit. Okay. Last month I bought a koozie that's made to hold 2 beer cans at once. that was a pretty dumb use of $5.
That's a living the dream.
God, the list is so long.
I was going to say, it's like every time I go on Amazon, you know.
As I look up and look at the leather-bound set of Absolute Sandman sitting on top of my desk and think that's not even a contender. There's nothing fucking frivolous about comic books.
Yeah, does it count? I was going to say, does it count as, I guess we should probably define here, does it count as frivolous if it's like one of your deep, passionate hobbies? Or are we just talking like, oh, I just threw money at that weird thing?
It's all right. Let's say it's frivolous if you would be, outside of this exact context, embarrassed to tell someone that you spent money on that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm a little embarrassed to talk about the $200 bicycle sitting in the corner of my living room that I've never put my fat ass on.
Yeah, that's frivolous.
That's the one. Yeah.
It was on sale. It was a $400 bike that I got for half price.
Oh, so many times I tell my wife, you're not saving $200. You are throwing away $200. That.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh God, if I had $1 for every time I heard that same thing, it's like, but it was on sale. I saved this much. It's like, no, you saved nothing. to that end, I won't say my most frivolous purchase, but I do remember this one time we had like $300 in the bank, and my wife went out and she came home with a guinea pig and $330 with a guinea pig supplies.
Wow.
And I was like, the fuck?
Guinea pigs are all kind of rodent purchase are essentially frivolous. They only end up getting sucked into the vacuum cleaner or whatever.
Guinea pigs are like razors. Like, you buy the razor and it's cheap, but the replacement blades are expensive. Like, guinea pigs don't cost anything. It's like $20 to like buy a guinea pig, but everything that comes with guinea pigs, that's where they make the money.
I thought you meant all the replacement guinea pigs when they end up.
I don't want replacement guinea pigs. I didn't want guinea pigs to begin with.
Taxidermy, man. Taxidermy those guinea pigs, and then just like slowly start putting them on mantelpieces looking at people.
The hospital bill to get it pulled on your ass.
I mean, literally, $20 for a guinea pig, but if you want a water bottle so the guinea pig doesn't fucking drop dead immediately, it's like $25.
Well, dude, don't
Guinea
get me
pigs have water bottles in the wild? Surely you can just like get a puddle or something.
Don't get me started about how much I spent on the free hot tub that's sitting in my backyard.
I love the guinea pigs have water bottles in the wild.
An old boss of mine said, "Hey, I've got a free hot tub. You can have it if you just come haul it away." And I was like, "Does it work?" He said, "Oh, yeah, it's fine." Yeah.
Morgan Freeman narration, but it was not fine.
It was not fine.
The amount of times as a delivery driver, I had a kind of side business clearing people's garages and stuff, or garages, I guess, for Americans. And the amount of times somebody said, do you think I'd be able to sell this exercise bike? It's like, no, but you can pay me to take it away for you, because you're never going to use it. And it's just taking up half of your kind of storage space. So
that sounds like it's the possessions version of like, hey, you know what? Let me just take that dog out back and shoot him. You'll never have to see him again.
Say, at least they took your stuff. I put a lawnmower out on my front one time. Basically said, "Free, take it." And somebody pulled up and took it. And an hour later, they pulled back up and put it back.
Oh my god,
that's what I mean.
I watched them do it. I'm like, who fucking does this?
That's top tier petty. I love that person.
Oh my god,
broke their lawn and thought, fuck, I'm not hanging on to this. That guy didn't hang on to it.
How dare he? How dare he try to do that? Oh my god. I'll own a frivolous one. Is I will spend. Up to a point, I will pay for seat upgrades, especially on longer flights, because I've just reached the point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm old. I'm just going to burn some money on this. It's frivolous, but it is an indulgence.
I don't think that's frivolous at all.
I had
You're like 9 fucking feet tall, dude.
Surely you can just step between states by now.
I don't know if it counts as frivolous since it's a hobby thing, but I'm actually I'm in my office right now, and the number of weird small Buddha statues in here is kind of unsettling, especially since I can't actually remember how I acquired most of them. But minis is one. I'll buy minis that I have no intention of painting up. I don't actually spend money that frivolously. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
that shit.
Because most of my frivolous purchases are booze related, bar related, I guess. I mean, I don't need to do that. I just like doing it.
We're all a movie deal away from the big tier frivolous shit.
Yeah. Speaking of, hobby spending, in my early 20s, really desperately wanted to produce an indie movie, which is kind of how Shoot the Dead happened. And one time I was browsing on the internet and somebody had 2 blank firing Glock pistols for sale. And I thought, that's an excellent bargain. And I just sat with these kind of replica handguns that really only a criminal would own in England. And thought, I better not leave the house with these. And sure enough, they almost immediately changed the law to don't have blank firing Glock pistols in your house. So I had to kind of offload them to some dodgy guy who's probably used them to kidnap a family or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with all the merchandise I've bought that you assholes haven't purchased.
Oh, well, when we've reached shilling, it's time for the next question.
All right. Let's see. Our friend Doug says, do you ever get into this is going to be funny answers from some of us. Do you ever get into arguments with the artists who do your cover art, or are you mostly accepting of whatever interpretations of characters' locations they use for your book covers? I can tell you for a fact that there were arguments about the Skyfarer covers. Not generally for me, but there are definitely instances where an artist is you work with an artist and they do some concept sketches and they're like, oh God, no.
I feel like I've had a pretty good experience with most of mine. Fortunately, I work with one artist predominantly for most of my stuff, and like the rare exceptions have still basically been even Secondhand Curses was a wholly new one, and on that one my only pushbacks were we have to change this and this for story continuity because it doesn't work. My biggest pushback session was with Tantor when we were doing Superpowered's Year 1, because they were doing a cover from scratch and they kept trying to put character silhouettes on there, and I kept having to be like, no, I don't do that on my covers.
I'll admit, I love working with my cover artist Mallory, but I probably do drive her nuts because it'd be like. Sometimes you just hit that petty thing of of you want it a certain way, and it's they're trying to convince you no that those colors don't go together, and more than once we've done the whole thing. It's like, what do you think of this color? This is great, but more blood. Okay, what about this? More blood, and like draft 15. No, that's too much blood. Take some out.
I should also add the cover artist for Skyfarer is amazing, so actually I have no complaints with him. Ignacio Loscano, wonderful guy.
Yeah, I love my cover artists. Yeah. But sometimes I drive them crazy. And the artist for the first Black Knight book, she drew a gun that doesn't exist in reality. And that was one of those where I messaged the publisher and said, so you can't do that. That gun doesn't exist. And she said, yeah, well, too bad. I was like,
oh dear.
I was like, okay, moving along.
I got the opposite thing. I mean, for my main books, my Critical Failures books, it's pictures of dice. My brother-in-law would do that, yay. But most of my other books is John Luther Davis does the covers, and the first one he did for me, Space Puppies, I gave him my idea, and he blew my mind. Wow, I
love that cover.
That's such a good cover.
I said, do kind of like a Star Wars mock-up, but then just go look at it and the Darth Vader part of it. That was not my idea. That was all him.
And I got it. And we all liked that so much that we hired him to do all the Shingles covers.
And
very happily.
Yes, holy shit, he is good. He's capable of just plucking ideas right out of your mind.
Yeah. If you're not on the Patreon looking at the comic pages that he's turning out, holy shit, are you missing out?
Yeah, that is by no means a frivolous purchase.
No, that is not. That is fucking awesome. Yeah. I am so excited for when that first issue is put together because, goddamn, it's a joy to watch. It makes our dumbassery seem so much cooler.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever done a comic book before, but holy shit, the stuff he's putting is easily worthy of being on the rack there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing shit.
I'm so excited for when that's ready and we can do a release of that first issue because it is, God, it's looking great.
And again, just like to reiterate, that is kind of what our Patreon money goes into. We're not just kind of spending it on replica Glocks or anything.
Or whores.
Or whores.
Or replica whores.
We don't make that kind of money.
Yeah.
All right, so our friend Steven says, do you guys have a concept for a live A&D show this year? That answer is complicated.
So up front, we know for sure that we will not be doing a live episode of A&D at Con Carolinas. So while, John will be there for sure, and some of the other members are potentially trying to go. I think Bevan has applied. I don't know everybody for sure. We certainly don't have the full cast, and even if we were trying to, I have Denver Pop Culture Con that I've committed to at that same time. So that one is just simply not going to happen.
And we can't do Dragon because they don't love us enough. So,
right now,
Bevan. That's what I heard.
Hey, I got one. Hey, baby, 4th year in a row I've gotten turned down. 3rd year I got a rejection. 4th was just I didn't even get a fucking rejection.
There we go. That's the real deal. At least they finally are talking to you.
Yeah. So at this point, we'll just kind of be transparent with you all. What we're looking at is either attempting to find a con in the back half of 2019 that is in a major city that's convenient for people to fly to, and we could actually all get in and get the episode together. Or we are floating the idea around of trying to put something very small scale but enjoyable together for you guys. We're jokingly calling it A&D Con. It would probably be closer to a glorified weekend-long meetup. We would be holding it, of course, in a major city so that there was stuff to do other than just visit with us. We are charming, but we also understand there's probably a time limit on that.
Call it Author and Drag Con.
Yeah.
Don't ruin this before it's begun.
We have kicked around the idea some. We have looked at some cities. We actually talked about this on the Discord a few months ago to sort of get some feedback on what people felt after getting suggestions and doing some preliminary research. Las Vegas would be our most likely choice for the fact of international airport, and the Strip offers a concentration of housing at very accommodating different price structures for different people while still being in a geographically centralized location. And we haven't been able to find anything that allows people to do it that cheaply and that conveniently elsewhere. Although if you do know of any, by all means, throw into the comments on the Facebook page. We'll throw something up about this on the day the episode goes up.
And also Vegas is nice and convenient because if nobody shows up, it's easy to just drink until we forget.
Yeah, it'll either be a A&D Con with our fans, or it's a weekend in Vegas for all of us. So either way, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But this is one that we actually even discussed whether or not we should talk about it. But A&D has always been very fan driven. We like to be where you all are, and we like to do the things that you enjoy. So we're kind of floating this out right now to make you aware of what we're considering and to ask if this is something that you would hold interest in. Ideally, we would probably try and get some other small, indie authors to come along and kind of fill out the ranks and offer some additional content. But all of that is very hypothetical. The only thing that we could promise is ourselves and a city that would have other fun stuff. So we'll throw up a post on the day this goes up to just sort of get your feedback. Is A&D Con something you would have any interest in? Are we biting off way more than we can chew with even the concept of it? Are you down and there's very specific shit you would want to do? Some of the things we've considered are, of course, panels. We've talked about putting together a very special one-shot campaign that could be run by all of the members with their own characters as guides. So it would be a very different, changeable experience depending on what you got. That is sort of where we are for 2019. 2020, we might shift back to something more traditional. We might go ahead with the second of these. It all sort of depends on if we do this, how it goes, if you all enjoy it. Guys, what do you have to add? I've really monologued a bit on that one.
I would say let us never forget the whole, if you have a local con and you want us to appear, bug the hell out of them, because them reaching out to us is never a bad motivator.
If they invite us and we can go, we will probably go.
And if you have a con that you think might be looking, have them be looking for 2020. They've probably booked their people for 2019 already. But if you have a con that you go to every year, reach out to the people that run it and say, hey, You know who I'd love to see in 2020? This bunch of drunken idiots.
Make sure you mention it's us, not some other group of drunkies.
Agree, yeah. All right. Well, let's, Joe, close us out with one fun one.
All right, let's see here.
That was a lot of
you know
actual business.
All right, so our friend, let's see. Okay, so our friend Jeff says, if you won $10 million but had to spend it in one day, what is something you would not spend it on? And I have a ready answer. That is boat. I would not buy a fucking boat because boat is an acronym that stands for break out another 1,000. They are giant fucking money sinks. Yeah, but the more expensive the boat is, the more expensive it is to upkeep it.
Oh, I could buy a pontoon boat or something.
But what would you not buy? That's the real question. That's actually a tough one.
Nah.
No art, no fucking fancy $5 million paintings.
No members of the Republican Party.
You can't get any of those for only $10 million.
No,
I wouldn't buy any hookers because I'm an old married dude. What the fuck would I do with them?
I would not get the J.K. Rowling cocaine statue because $10 million is not enough to bribe the kind of people I would have to bribe to be able to hang on to that.
Yeah,
so
you might get her foot for $10 million.
it would be the boat problem. I couldn't afford the upkeep.
I definitely wouldn't buy an army of sex robots.
I mean, according to stuff I've seen on the news, you know, they might kill you. So that's pretty sensible.
That's why I wouldn't buy them, Joe.
I
wouldn't buy them.
I mean, though, I gotta admit, strangled to death mid-coitus by sex robot would be pretty awesome to have in your obituary.
I would not buy $10 million worth of live cockroaches.
I would not buy Bitcoin. I would instead invent my own cryptocurrency, DrewCoin.
DrewCoin.
Be at the top of the pyramid scheme, boys. That's how you earn.
You know, I got these telemarketers always trying to sell me weaponized VD. No, guys, you're sorry, you don't get any of my money.
I would not buy the rights to the name Fire Festival.
I'm just trying to imagine the sheer logistical, problems of buying $10 million worth of live cockroaches. I mean,
you know what? I would not buy an Australian manservant.
Nah, you want New Zealand manservants, dude.
I mean, no offense to our Australian fans, but
no, every offense. Can you imagine having a new
Well, now it's weird, Joe, because it sounded like you objected to the manservant part, but now you're just like, I don't want an Australian in my house.
Yeah,
Aussies are mouthy, dude, and they drink all the beer.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything you tell them to do.
Yeah, everything from Australia is venomous.
Here's the real reason. Australia has this thing called millipede season, which is where foot-long millipedes appear everywhere. And they have fields full of spiders, and they have bizarre, strange crabs that, come out of the ocean and cut your dick off.
Your manservant doesn't necessarily have crabs.
No, but I'm getting
I mean, if you paid $10 million for a manservant, he better not have fucking crabs.
No. I get what Joe's saying. He's afraid that he's going to show up and be essentially a skin suit full of millipedes.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm afraid of. I would not buy an Australian skin suit full of millipedes. That is a thing I would not do with $10 million.
That is a very
$1 million
concern.
You heard it here first. Joe thinks all Australian people are millipedes and trench coats.
I have Australian friends and they're lovely, but I don't.
I love the millipedes. They're my people.
You buy an Australian for $1 million. You only expect to get a bunch of millipedes in a skin suit. But you pay $10 million, and you
get the dick slicing crabs in a swimsuit. Or a skin suit.
Look,
fucking racist.
They are. I'm just saying. They are my millipede.
I want to buy an Australian. That'll be 1 million. No, I want to upgrade to the non-millipede model. Oh well, sorry, that's 11 million. Fuck you.
I see you've bought an Australian before.
Oh, you want a unicorn with that, buddy? If we're mythical fucking creatures.
Look, mate. I'm sorry. You upgrade from millipedes, and that takes you straight to field full of spiders.
In a trench coat.
Or a bunch.
All right. Well, this feels like a good place to end.
Maybe this is how it ends.
Yeah.
That's not a manservant.
God damn it!
This is a man full of trench coats. Wait, what?
Let's throw some shrimp on the bobby.
Three things at once, and I came up with all the wrong pronouns.
It's so far down the rabbit hole.
I meant to go for, I guess, millipede in a... Wow, yeah. I was going for trench coat full of millipedes or millipedes in a trench coat.
Hello, Australian manservant Inc. I'd like to make a complaint. I ordered a manservant. I fully expected it to be a bunch of millipedes in a trench coat. But a man full of trench coats. This is low in customer service.
I was like, my manservant arrived and he took off his coat and he's just like this weird concept of coats.
He took off his coat and he just kept going. Just coats all the way down.
He's been taking off his coat for the last month.
He opens his mouth, coats come out.
All he will say is something about existentialism. Help!
This was the worst use of $10 million I could possibly think of.
I can't even sell the coats. They're shitty trench coats.
And they're covered in millipede shit.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week with a side quest and in 2 weeks with another game episode. Until then, to all of our listeners who are also men full of trench coats, bye.
Bye.
Authors and Dragons is brought to you under a Creative Commons license, meaning you are free to share this material so long as credit is given to those who created it, which is us, the people you just heard play the game. Opening and closing themes performed by the Gore Core 4.
Authors and Dragons! Authors and Dragons!
Monk flips. So hot right now.